Hi Aquarius, I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I'm seeing your intuition clearing up something that you may have been wondering about. I'm looking at the Hierophant popping out. The Hierophant, the Page of Swords, the Seven of Pentacles. There may be somebody that you've had your eye on. For some of you, I'm not seeing this necessarily be like, ooh, somebody that I'm interested in like a romantic type of way. I'm seeing that, like, for some of you, there's some type of guide that you're even being introduced to or learning from. That doesn't mean, like, physically someone you're around necessarily, but it's, like, somebody that you feel like has the type of wisdom that you can learn from. It's like they may even be, like, a professional, I guess, in, like, the sense of the word, where it's, like, someone that you trust to be learning from. It's like they may be nuanced in some type of way. It's like this would be somebody that you're learning, like, philosophy or spirituality from, or like some sort of education even. Like you could even be signing up for like some type of course or have some type of guide, or somebody even like on a soul level guiding you. It feels like someone you're divinely connecting with as well. For some of you, there's a sense of waiting for this too. Like you may be on the lookout. It kind of feels like. For some of you, there's a sense of even like gathering information from different places and kind of putting the pieces together. It seems like whatever trail of information this is that you're collecting, there's a sense of being able to produce something with it, but when the time is right. Something that you've been learning about. There's a sense of it like not being time yet. It's like you haven't accumulated enough to do something about it, but there's a sense of like building to that point is what I'm seeing. It kind of feels like when you're acquiring a new skill or something, like I'm getting the example of learning to play guitar. So it's like you're learning what the different notes are, but you can't like play a whole song yet. But it's like in learning to play the notes in singularity, you're going to be able to string them together and you'll be able to play a full song because of that. So it's like getting to that point of being able to produce music in that way. So it's like you're in the learning stage right now of learning how to play the notes. For some of you also, you may have your eye on someone, but they may seem almost like unreachable in some type of way, so you're figuring out how you want to talk to them. That may be a side note. Remember, energies can always be reversed. Yeah, I'm seeing Spirit giving you the connect with something. Like, I'm seeing your spirit guides directly, like, intervening and helping you out with something. It's something for, like, your growth or elevation is what I'm getting. But yeah, I'm seeing you be directly impacted in some type of way. Somebody you want to work with even, somebody you want to link up with. There's a sense of, like, already knowing who this person is. I'm looking at your energy popping out, Aquarius. I'm also looking at Taurus and Mercury. You may be getting help from somebody that you're working with too. This may be somebody in the healing profession, guiding profession, something like that. It's like there's some sort of beacon of light, and you feel that when you work with them. So this would be someone like definitely in alignment with you and like your highest good, your path, someone that you've been guided towards, or someone that's been guided into your life. There's a sense of you also getting, I'm hearing confirmation about this, some type of information you're getting. I'm looking at someone coming through quickly to have a conversation with you. I'm looking at Mercury above the Knight of Swords here. It feels too like an internal like system of value that you have is also helping you understand as well, a sense of like equality and balance, maybe even compensation for some if we're talking about like things in the monetary realm. Yeah, it seems like there's some sort of fear of being like, for lack of like a more eloquent way of saying this, it's like this fear of being ripped off in some sort of way is kind of what this feels like. It's like, is this going to be worth it for me to invest in this? Is this worth my time and energy to be engaging in this? Is this something that I'm going to like find what I need from within, like the process of this? And there's a sense of thinking about that here. So it almost seems like something has been brought to you, but there's a process of discernment that's happening where you're like, is this right for me? Is this my like shadow and ego, and that's where the fear is coming from? Or is this something based in like my intuition and I need to be aware of this, and kind of differentiating that for yourself when it comes to you being involved with another person? I'm seeing. It seems like you're sitting and waiting, Aquarius, waiting for some type of offer to come through for you, for something to be manifested, or for you to be making this offer. Remember, energies can always be reversed, but I'm seeing this can go either way. But there's a sense of still being like in a process right now where something hasn't fully come to fruition, or you're not able to move. Like there's almost a sense even of yeah, being in a waiting period. I am looking at an offer coming through. I am also looking at the Magician. I'm seeing like something is going to be clarified that you had been waiting on. And when we talk about Mercury too, we're talking about communication as well. So it's like something is going to be expressed for you. So it's like either you want to express something to someone and clarify things for them and like communicate with them in a way, or you're waiting to receive this from someone. Ooh, it's about a relationship. Interesting. I'm looking at the Four of Wands here. Somebody's going to communicate that they're trying to manifest a relationship with you, or that they're interested even. It's like as soon as this person turns their back on their fears, there's a sense of them coming through to you. The reason that this may have taken like longer than one had hoped is because somebody had healing work that they needed to do. before being able to come through and speak with you in like a very upfront and clear and honest way. So it seems like this couldn't have worked out until it ends up coming through and working out for you, is what it looks like to me. So it's like things had to fall into place perfectly in order for this to happen. And it seems like that is what's happening here. But yeah, if you had been waiting on something and being like, why isn't this coming through yet? It may be because the other person, or like maybe even you, had something that you needed to go through in order to be able to get to this process where you can like really meet somebody face to face, like on even ground. Zodiacs, again, I'm looking at Taurus, Mercury, Aquarius. When this person comes through at first, like, they may initiate something and they may not immediately say something about, like, a relationship. Like, you may get to know them in a way beforehand, or it's like they're coming through and they're dedicated and they're serious about what it is that they're saying. However, like, they may not, like, jump too quickly into being like, hey, do you want to be in a relationship? Like, they may want to try to get to know you first. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. It's like their intention is to build something with you, but I'm seeing them like not so much put pressure on that immediately. But they still are like committed, so don't confuse their like hesitancy with talking about like framing things into a commitment with them not being committed, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, I'm seeing someone going back and forth. It's like, which way do I want to take this? How do I want to go? What's the best avenue to go down when it comes to this thing that I'm planning out here? It's like really weighing things out. There's a lot of thought that's being put into this. I'm seeing double twos here. So this is all about like making decisions, getting to a point, making decisions, like pros and cons, figuring it out. For some of you, there can be, you may be feeling like you're at a crossroads when it comes to work as well. Like making some sort of decision. For some of you, this is a financial decision. It's like even what way you want to be. Like for some of you, taking your career and like really thinking about this. It's like, what type of position do I want to, what type of position do I want to be playing? What feels right to me? What feels satisfying when I look within? Like, also prioritizing all of these different things. It's like not just about the money, it's also about the journey. For some of you, it's about the travel, I'm hearing. So it's like finding something that you want to commit to in a way and like really analyzing this when it comes to making an important decision for yourself. This feels like a pivotal career choice that's being focused on. I'm looking at the Tower. It seems even like something that you had invested in the past is being broken down in some sort of way. For some of you, this is related to, like, career, as I said before. For others of you, this can touch on your family life, home life. It feels kind of like a big decision that's going to be made that, like, somehow affects your past, or it's, like, somehow tied in with the past. Like, let's just use an example here. For some of you, there could have been, like, a career that you chose and something that you believed maybe you would stick with, and now it's like, in thinking about it, there's going to be like some big decision that you want to make to like go a completely different route. So that's also what I'm seeing here too, like just an example of how the energy reads. If this is talking about a relationship, for some of you, there can be like a back and forth that you're doing when it comes to making plans with someone. I'm looking at a highlight of Virgo here. This would be someone that you perceive to be like steady within their career. They're someone that you would perceive most likely as being like reliable in some sort of way. And it's like maybe even surprising about how the past is revisiting you. And the best way that you can go about like analyzing this and moving in your energy is to be as compassionate as possible. I don't know like what the history is with this person, but there's a sense of even this person returning. I'm getting such a specific message. I'm gonna see if there's like more of an overarching theme. Okay, so for some of you, there could have been something that you were kind of dancing back and forth between, and for whatever reason, it's almost like because you were considering these things, I'm seeing a tower happen. So it kind of feels like you could have been playing with fire in a way, is sort of what this looks like to me. And it's like there's a lesson that has to be learned naturally. It's like the natural consequences of this. So it's almost like, yeah, something that you had been trying to figure out or like even entertain in a certain way. It's like this whole thing gets wrecked. But it's because it like wasn't built upon a sturdy foundation, because that's what the tower speaks on. And I'm seeing it be like directly related in this. You could have even been like maybe even putting something off and being like, I want to go this way, no, I want to go that way. And it's like because you didn't make a decision, the tower is coming. Or yeah, even like dancing between something that you weren't meant to be dancing between. So as I said before, it feels like maybe entertaining something that was unstable in the first place. And because of this, as I said before, I'm seeing a tower come through. I'm seeing a lesson that's learned related about being at a crossroads with somebody from the past and like what you had thought that you wanted at one point in time. I'm looking at the King of Pentacles. I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles. It's like somebody that you have emotions for, somebody you see as like being stable, like being like the head of a family or like a breadwinner in some type of way, and like how you feel towards this person and like wanting to start something with them. I'm looking at a highlight of Virgo, Pluto, Mars, and Saturn here, and these are a lot of planets converging to come together. And it's like you looking within and analyzing your decision-making skills and also how you're going about enforcing boundaries and all of that. Because you may have had a situation with someone and things did not turn out in the way that you wanted to, and for whatever reason you decided that you were going to entertain this again, being like, well, I still want it in some sort of way. So it's like just setting yourself up to repeat a lesson is what this looks like to me. So just be mindful if you've been getting like carried away with like fantasies or feeling like a bit ungrounded or trying to like push an agenda of like, if only it's this way or I want it to be this way. There's a sense of like kind of having reality be reinforced for you. As I said before, it seems just like a natural consequence type of situation. So yeah, if you are catching yourself and it's like you want something but you recognize that it's unrealistic, unlikely, or just something that you know is out of balance, this is about really checking yourself because you're going to be saving yourself in the long run. And I am looking at Neptune on the bottom of the deck as well. So it's like Neptune, we can get all in the fantasy space about things and not be seeing them for what they really are. So this is about like zooming out and seeing the whole big picture and being like, should I be involved in this? Do I feel like this works for me and where I'm trying to go? Is this in alignment with my best interests? Is it in alignment with that person's best interests? And understanding too why we're attracted to people. It's like, do you feel attracted to somebody because they're providing you with something that you should be providing for yourself, like when you think about it? Because sometimes there's a situation where it's like, oh, this person provides stability for me, so that's why I'm attracted to them when it comes to like finances and stuff. And there's a question that's raised about like maybe you should be doing that for yourself or figuring out a way to be doing that. Because I think when the question of attraction comes up, it's always like, are you doing this because you expect something from someone? And what happens then if that person doesn't provide what it is that you're looking for? And that's where like the resentment and all of that comes from, because your expectations aren't being met. So this is all about like really checking in with yourself and being like, am I expecting something that somebody is willing to give to me, or am I hoping that they'll give me something that they're not willing or not going to give to me? Because we understand too like the setup of that and where that takes us emotionally, because we're not accepting reality for what it is and we're kind of getting off track and like in that hopeful fantasy space, and in reality it just sets us up to experience something like a tower. So to go over the zodiacs again, I'm looking at Mars, I'm looking at Saturn, I'm looking at Virgo, and I'm looking at Pluto here. This is a lot of undoing energy. It's a lot of like very fast-paced changes. It's a lot of getting to the bottom of things. This, for some of you, this feels kind of like a breakthrough energy as well, because I'm seeing Saturn be like a very solid energy, and I'm seeing like with Mars and Pluto, like this thing being completely taken apart here. Because Mars and Pluto energy can be quite similar, and to see both of them alongside Saturn, it's like something that had been like so very like glued together is now just being completely ripped apart. And it feels even like a sense of stagnancy, maybe even, and it was something that needed to be ripped apart, but you needed like a strong enough force. I'm seeing this also be related to the planetary transits that are happening right now too. So even though this may be something difficult, I'm seeing this as being like a very important catalyst as well. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.